And welcome back. This is the fifth video of my elevator build series. I'm in the process of starting to assemble the right elevator framework. To this point, I've dry fit both the left and right elevators, as well as the trim tab, elevator trim tab, and everything fits well. And so now it's just a matter of getting all the parts ready. Just finished putting primer on all the framework here and starting to assemble everything. So as far as the rear spar here, the skins will attach directly to this spar, both the top and bottom side, the flanges. So you actually have to dimple all of the holes in the spar, both on top and bottom. And to do that, you either have to have the long yoke that has a narrow tip on the upper portion of it to get in between the flanges of the rear spar, or you have to actually modify the standard yoke, which is what I ended up having to do. I don't have the longer yoke. And so the instructions actually give you the dimensions, and you just take it to a grinder and grind it down and test fit until it fits inside there so that you can dimple the flanges. So once you have all that set up, then you can start attaching the ribs, which I'm doing here. And as you can see, the ribs are actually two parts. This portion of the rib you'll attach directly to the rear spar like I'm doing now. And then the other half of the middle rib you will actually back rivet to the skins. And then like you did with the rudder, you'll peel them together, kind of layer it together and rivet as you go. And it helps to have a second person just to hold the skin up and away while you rivet, and then just kind of roll it down to the next rib as you're ready to rivet the next rib. But I was able to do it on my own without too much difficulty either. So here's my dad. Like I said before, he likes to come out and kind of see what I'm up to every once in a while. I work a rotating shift work. So one week I'm working days, one week I'm working nights. So I'm out here at all hours of the day, depending on my work schedule. But every once in a while he'll come out and just see where I'm at and kind of reminisce on working in the shop. At some point I'm hoping to be able to get him involved and help me drive a couple rivets and whatnot. And I think probably once I get started on the fuselage, I'll probably end up doing that. My goal is to get the entire family to help build this airplane. So far, it's essentially just been me. If you've watched these videos, you notice that I'm the only one that ever works on it. So hopefully I can get some interest from the other family members. So now I'll start working on the left elevator framework, and it's essentially the exact same process. You attach, get everything primered, and then attach everything together to the rear spar as you see here. And those, it's got the two brackets that hold the trailing edge because the left elevator is split. It's where the trim tab is. So finish building this half of the elevator, and then I'll be able to start working on getting the skins and everything attached to the frame. I'm in a process of, or waiting for my delivery from Van's Aircraft. Will hopefully arrive tomorrow. It's scheduled to show up sometime by tomorrow afternoon. I've got about another 100 blind rivets that are coming in. I've used up all the rivets. I believe they're the L4-3, I believe was the rivet. But that's what you use most up to this point, and I've made enough mistakes that I went through too many of them. So I had to reorder some. And then also the Pro Seal kit that I purchased. It's a 6-ounce kit, and it comes in a bullet-shaped tube that basically you are able to pre-mix everything in this kit, and then you are supposed to have it use a Pro Seal gun to apply it. Well, the problem is the pneumatic guns are a couple $100, and I don't care to spend that kind of money on a one-time use kind of thing. But the other option is you can actually just I'm pretty sure I could get away with just using a caulking gun, a standard $5 caulking gun from Lowe's, and I would pretty sure I'd be able to make that work. But I saw in Vans they actually have one it's a manual gun that's specifically built for this kit, and it was only like 17 bucks. So I went ahead and ordered that and 100 more blind rivets. And once I get those in, I'll be able to finish the elevators. And I want to get them everything to the same point before I start applying the Pro Seal, because the Pro Seal will apply to the trailing edge ribs on both the elevators and on the trim tab, which I think I discussed in the previous video. So once I get everything built to the same point, I can use the Pro Seal just one time and get it done with. So we'll see how that works. So here the instructions have you take the frame and actually clamp it to a tabletop, as you see me doing here. And I'm just using C-clamps to hold the frame, and I'm just making sure that it's straight along the edge of the tabletop there. And then it'll actually also have you get some kind of spacer to set underneath the ribs on the back end of it, so that, I'm assuming, so that when you put the skins on, it's a fairly level surface. In here I'm just going through and deburring the piano hinge before I'd attach it. That's one of the things I have to work on a little bit more, I think, is just making sure that I am deburring as I need, or as I'm supposed to. Here I think I discussed in a previous video that it can be easy to confuse the correct half of the piano hinge to use, and that's what I did there. I started putting it on and it just wouldn't line up, and what the heck's going on? Well, then I realized, hey dummy, you've got the wrong half here. So I went back and got the right one and start clicking it in place. So the rest of this video is going to be riveting the rear spar to the skins here, and through the process, just want to make sure that you keep the whole framework straight as you can, which these are the plates I was referring to that I'm using as the spacers. The instructions give you the millimeters thickness. I think it was like 3.5 or 4 millimeters thick, and these plates happen to be pretty darn close, so I use those. But the whole idea here with the elevators, you want to make sure that they're absolutely straight for obvious reasons. If you have a twist, then it's going to make your flight characteristics off. So everything you're doing here, you want to make sure it's clamped to a smooth, level surface. You want to make sure that the ribs are supported correctly. When you go to close up the trailing edge, it's best to use some kind of angle iron or angle piece to keep the edge straight. Whatever you can do to make sure that the elevator remains straight as you build it will make it a whole lot easier in the long run. So I use a lot of Clecos, just mostly to make sure that everything's held in place correctly. But other than that, it's not a difficult process. So I'm going to go ahead and let this video run out here. And again, for those who continue to watch these videos, I do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.